Hey friends, this is Archangel. Ultimately, it is pain that drives males to male liberation. And though I wish this were not so, I am glad males find liberation despite tribulation. Even upon awakening, you must still exist and maneuver about a gynocentric androcidal world, and operate a body that is driven by primordial instincts and lizard brain motivations. So, unless you are forged from steel, you are still susceptible to being blindsided by desires when you least expect it. This is how the awakened can slip back into purple pill existence and unicorn hunting. Perhaps this is one possible interpretation of the spiritual admonition to be in this world but not of it. You can exist in gynocentrism but do not have to partake in it nor enable it. There are many fence-sitters who want to liberate themselves and their brothers from male devaluation and disposal. Males who feel that male liberation and empowerment, this path resonates as truth deep within their souls. Yet they are too weak to live as a monk, or too fearful to live without their addiction of female validation. Some are skeptical that they can remain resolute in their resolve to eschew females, and rightfully so, because most males, sadly, will return to some form of female validation chasing despite seeing male devaluation and disposal everywhere in the world. The torment and isolation overcome them, and they settle for placebo or the illusion that females care about them or male welfare in general. So we need to practice control. I think activities and exercises that champion and promote mind control over bodily desires is an excellent way to build and strengthen the male liberation muscle, the mind. Maybe by sheer coincidence, or by some grander design, I have come across many advantageous disciplines when I was a struggling purple pillar, and I believe the following disciplines provided a supportive role in my eventual exodus from the plantation to liberation. These disciplines further assisted in my resolute adherence to upholding my liberation and seeking the liberation of other enslaved brethren. Practicing bodily control is very advantageous. You see, by compelling the body to bow to the will of the mind, this pays rich dividends to you and all of humanity by extension. All accomplishments and breakthroughs throughout history have come about through the mental tender of male brilliance, imagination, and intellectual intrepidity. The great advancements came because males controlled and focused their minds, not gave into their bodies. Greatness, advancements have only come to fruition because the males who these discoveries came through were disciplined enough to intellectually focus on and develop these advances. We did not get electricity, nuclear fission, or the horseless carriage from males placating their lizard brain and opening doors, or throwing coats over life's puddles for maidens, or pandering to their addiction of validation through females. Addicts do not discover. Disciplined males change the world. No, I contend that all the great advancements came about because males denied their reptilian desires and fears in favor of mental and intellectual expansion. I observe humanity at a pivotal crossroads. Either we rein in and overcome our animal instincts and impulses, or the brainwashed masses, driven by our lizard brain instincts, will use the technology born of brilliant males to destroy us all. Nuclear technology in the hands of those running off impulse and emotion will not end with chocolate cake and ticker tape parades. That is our choices. Either we transition to an intellectual, higher ethical consciousness as a species, or we digress to destruction and repeat the history of human violence and prejudice. Thus, the first step to an intellectual transition for the human race comes in the form of male liberation, male re-empowerment. Since males are the creative forces of the universe, and hence males are the ones who cause the change. We need individual males to begin taking control over their instincts and impulsive desires. We, the awakened few males, are the ones through which revolution will come. We are the change, and if we can awaken enough brothers, we will precipitate the revolution of male liberation and species advancement. Anyhow, Control is like anything else. It is made better with practice. So here are a few disciplines that I find very valuable in the exercising of mind over body control. Number 1, exercise. Yeah, you knew that one was coming, and there is a reason why you have heard this broken record over and over, because it is so multitudinous in benefits to health, well-being, mental grounding, and appearance. But more to the point, it conditions the body to submit to the will and to the mind. I have lifted weights for years, and there is real benefit to struggling beneath weights, sweating, straining, muscles burning. This is not fun, and your body wants to stop. Yet you make your body submit to instruction and move that weight. You can do the same with cardio, or Spartan races, or marathons, where you push your body to its limits despite the discomfort or exhaustion. Your body says, "This is not fun, stop it." But you are in control, and you push through it despite all the burning and complaining of the body. This can translate to male empowerment. Your desires are to chase female validation and get a pat on the head, but you push through this and do not submit. The desire to avoid pain and garner pleasure are powerful instinctual motivators, and when you bend both to your will, you are in control. Another tool is intermittent fasting, meaning you refrain from food ingestion for a specified amount of time. The desire to eat is an overwhelmingly powerful instinctual motivator, as it is a direct subsidiary of the survivalist instinct. Animals kill each other for food, and humans are trained to give in to hunger anytime, anywhere. It's pretty simple. You are hungry, you eat. The urge to eat is a purely basal desire. It is not a logical, introspective contemplation. And thus we have socially mandated times to assist us. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, and we mandate time allotments for food consumption at your place of employment. We have vending machines, restaurants, or convenience stores, all within spitting distance of one another to help us indulge in this biological urge no matter where you might be. We are a world of billions of animals, all preoccupied with hunger and driven by our desire to eat. This is a great example because the desire to eat is basal, primal, and demands adherence, just like gynocentrism and male desire for female validation. Both demand attention and adherence, not thoughtful analysis. When you are hungry or horny, you are looking for a fix in an almost desperative way. During your cravings, you are not thinking logically or lucidly or analyzing such desires. You are simply looking for satisfaction now. Most cannot even think of anything else besides getting their fix ASAP. Then, once this urge is sated with a full belly or a female-assisted ejaculation, then you may consider everything in hindsight. Or not. Even once the urge subsides, most are not analyzing the urge or the feelings that arise with it. Most are simply basking in the post-indulgence glow and are musing about their next meal or their next ejaculation and pat on the head from females. All creatures are zealously driven by lizard brain urges regarding eating. Yet fasting is a powerful exercise to rise above and deny instinct, and exist in an intellectual sphere where you control eating rather than succumb to this potentially violent reptilian desire. Fasting is so powerful a tool to rise above carnality that nearly every religious tradition has promulgated fasting in some form or fashion. I stumbled on to intermittent fasting by coincidence. I had already started eating in such a fashion before my red pill awakening, and I think it had beneficial influence. Now, there are many ways to fast. I personally fast for 20 hours a day and have a 4-hour eating window. So I conduct my daily affairs and do all my works and labors on a fasted stomach, then consume all my calories in the evening in a relaxed state. So essentially, I drink water and teas throughout the day during the fast and then eat until I am full at night. There are many popularized intermittent eating diets. Some advocate a 12 to 16 hour daily fast followed by a 12 to 8 hour eating window. Some merely suggest that you fast 1 or 2 24-hour periods per week. The point is that you endure an extended period of time with no caloric enrichment. I will most likely eat this way for the rest of my life. In fact, I can't fathom getting up and eating something right away, first thing, even though I have eaten the traditional way for most of my life. Moreover, lunch breaks don't hold enchantment or excitement for me anymore, as they do for most of the oral addicts just waiting to shovel something into that pie hole come noon or 1 o'clock. Now, indeed, there may be a bit of a learning curve for your body as you adjust to this type of diet, but believe me, the hunger pains will go away and you will have plenty of energy during your fasted states. I am not bothered by hunger pains anymore, and I have plenty of energy during the day in my fasted state to do any type of manual labor. I have not lost muscle, and I am leaner than I ever have been before, and I maintain this easily. Furthermore, I am not ravenously driven by the food obsession every few hours like everyone else is. And during the fasted period, I have a mental clarity that is amazing, and it is this clarity or lucidity and sobriety of reason that assisted red pills into finally sinking in to my gray matter. There is a lot of research and even more coming out to back up fasting, everything from disease fighting and prevention to longevity and even more youthful physiology and appearance. In fact, there are so many health benefits to fasting that this should be taught in place of the 3 square meals a day propaganda that we all learned growing up. The research is quite impressive, elucidating the benefits of human periodic fasting and its advantages to our physiology. But more importantly for my purposes here, it is quite advantageous to compel your body, your very instincts to bow to your will. When you embark on a fasting period, your lizard brain is screaming, "Eat!" and releasing hormones to induce hunger pains or causing you physical discomforts that will compel you to eat, eat, eat. Yet being able to stymie these motivators and ignore such discomforts or bodily complaints, this is how you shape a lethal instrument of power, by purposefully ignoring and denying your urges and instincts. And this strength absolutely translates into your control over biological urges for sex and reproduction born of the lizard brain and the chemical rewards issued from the hypothalamus in response to female validation. This is quite an empowering discipline. Take the time to do a little research. A wealth of information is out there. For some ideas, check out the warrior diet, or eat, stop, eat, or the 8-hour diet. And try not to get sidetracked with all the intermittent fasting naysayers. Some are almost militant in their opposition to any type of fasting. But then this goes to a deeper desire because they are defending their urge to eat and enjoy pleasure whenever, wherever. These people that vehemently oppose intermittent fasting are essentially opposing exercise over bodily urges. They want to give in to their bodies multiple times throughout the day. Yes, the issue is deeper than mere food. You can go 12, 16, 20, 24 hours, even 48 hours at a time, and you are not going to die. You stay hydrated with water, and the human body is meant to endure such periods of famine. Once you get used to it, your body will regulate itself. There will be no hypoglycemia. The hunger pains will go away. Your body will adapt. The next powerful exercise is edging. I chanced upon this a few years ago when I joined an enlargement forum where different methods were discussed regarding penile enlargement, everything from vacuum pumps to jelqing to surgery. I came across this technique called edging. Essentially, you stimulate yourself to near ejaculation, then stop, and let the urge to ejaculate subside, then do it again. You bring yourself to the ejaculatory point of no return over and over and over again. This is very powerful for conditioning males to practice self-control over their body and instincts. First off, orgasm is one of the most intense physical sensations of the body, and so for a male to bring himself to the point of near ejaculation, where the pleasure is getting greater and greater, then abruptly stop, this takes amazing control and presence of mind to enact. How many males have been chained to servitude because they thought they could ride bareback and then count on the strength to pull out just in the nick of time? Yeah, Males simply feel warm, wet, and good, and then they think they will have the fortitude to control themselves when the pleasure is at its most intense. I continue to practice edging, bringing myself to near ejaculation a dozen or so times, and then just stop, put my toys away, and go on about my day. All that teasing and ultimately no release. This is a powerful establishment of mental fortitude over bodily demands. Besides, as I have mentioned many times, unless you are specifically trying to impregnate, ejaculation is a waste of male vitality, which makes sense because many ancient traditions have proffered creative forces and life coming from the male seed. And hence, males' lower life expectancies may be influenced by a lifetime of useless ejaculation, a wasting of creative forces. Well, that and enduring the stress of pampered entitled eaters whom they provide for and carry through life, as well as using their lives as a shield to protect female life. Yeah, that might have a teensy little something to do with it also. Either way, things are stacked against males. The point here is that you will find out how strong you really are when you stop yourself from ejaculating at the height of pleasure. You will also come to understand that the wow feeling of orgasm and the glorified peeing of ejaculation are two separate events. You will also realize that the feel-good chemical concoctions that accompany orgasm, well, yeah, they're cool, but they're very fleeting, and you will eventually reach a point where sexual pleasure loses its iron grip on you. This will absolutely assist you in rebuking female usury resultant from consumption of the sex they peddle. However, most males simply get an erection and follow it wherever it leads. I have heard it many times throughout my life, and I never thought I would be the one repeating it as well. But sex really is overrated. Get over it. It is the vector of so much male abuse, usury, and discardation. At some point, you need to quit chasing simple, temporary bodily pleasures and stand for something greater. And the final beneficial discipline that I will mention is meditation. Yeah, I'm sure you saw this one coming as well. There is a reason this practice has stood the test of time, for it is amazingly beneficial. To simply sit and try clearing your head of all thoughts or mental chatter is impressively difficult. Hence, the reason so many sects devote entire lifetimes to the learning of this discipline. For you are attempting to control your brain rather than be its servant. You see, most people don't contemplate all the useless chatter and dialogue occurring continually in their heads. Whether you understand and pay attention to it or not, you are constantly recalling songs or TV shows or random comments from cashiers or events from 5 years ago, or making random judgments about your surroundings. Yet when you try not to think, you will see what a chore it really is. This is especially annoying for me. I have so much floating around upstairs that trying to silence everything is a monumental task. It helps to focus on something, breathing, or a positive affirmation, and cease all other thought. Meditation will help you rise above instinct and become more centered. There are many other exercises that may assist in control over your urges and help you transcend lizard brain motivations. These are simply a few suggestions that I believe to be very qualitative in helping awakened males stay resolute in the face of temptation and torment. Many awakened males have an arrogance that they are above gynocentrism and will not be bothered by it again. Yet these males are most at risk for falling back into purple pill existence and unicorn chasing. We need to remain vigilant and exercise control over our bodies, and not lose track of our outrage over male devaluation and disposal, in order that we remain resolute in our rebucation of devaluation and disposal. When you have control over your mind, which in turn has control over your body, when you have absolute reign over your reptilian instincts, rejecting male devaluation, gynocentrism, and remaining empowered against carnality and female wiles will become like second nature to you. Rejecting male devaluation will be automatic, reflexive. Awakening males to devaluation and disposability is righteous. It leads to liberation. And male liberation from devaluation is my passion. Males need to find outlet for their brilliance and energy. If you have idle, unfocused energy, you may be likely to direct it back into chasing and pampering females. You must find a passion, a purpose. My purpose is to educate males that they may liberate themselves. Finding your passion in science, arts, charity, these are productive. I find that there is no greater receptacle for your passion than assisting the liberation of other males. So, my brothers, these are just a few humble suggestions for your consideration. My friends, stand with me, live free.